calmly, the village was serene, with the sounds of nature all around. Amina and her friend hand out by the stream, enjoying each other's company. The mood is light and joyful. Amina, laughing, "Let me show you how to weave these flowers into your hair, Fola." Fola, Amina's friend, giggles as Amina places a crown of wildflowers on her head. Ojo, from a distance, watches with admiration and longing. The village stream sparkles under the midday sun. Lush greenery surrounds the area, where Amina and her friends sit laughing and talking by the water. Ojo, a young man with dreads and a strong, confident build, has been observing from a distance, but today he steps closer. Ojo, taking a deep breath and approaching Amina. He calls her name softly, but with purpose. The playful chatter among her friends fades as they glance at Ojo curiously. Ojo, taking a deep breath and approaching.
Amina. He calls her name softly, but with purpose. The playful chatter among her friends fades as they glance at Ojo curiously. Amina, turning her head, surprised but intrigued.
Ojo, what brings you here? Ojo smiles, his gaze lingering on Amina's face. His presence seems to command the space, as if the village itself pauses to observe. Ojo, stepping nearer, lowering his voice.
I have watched you often by this stream, your laughter brighter than the sunlight. I could not stay in the shadows any longer. His voice grows tender, though there's an intensity behind his words. Amina glances at her friends, unsure but flattered. She stands slowly, brushing her dress as she faces him, a mixture of curiosity and caution in her eyes. Amina smiling gently.
And what do you wish to say now that you've stepped from the shadows? Ojo, his eyes fixed on hers.
I wish to know you, Amina, to walk with you, speak with you, perhaps more. He reaches for her hand, his touch lingering, bold yet somehow respectful. Amina hesitates but allows the contact, her heart fluttering at the attention. Around them, the village seems to hold its breath. Amina softly.
Let us walk then, Ojo, and see what words you carry. They walk together, hand in hand, as the sunlight glows warmly around them. But as they disappear into the trees, a shadow of intensity lingers in Ojo's eyes, a possessiveness that flickers just beneath the surface, unnoticed by Amina.
Several days have passed since Ojo and Amina began walking together through the village. What started as a courtship filled with soft words and tender moments has begun to shift. Today, Ojo stands near Amina in the heart of the village, his arm tightly around her waist as other young men pass by, greeting her with friendly smiles. Ojo pulling Amina closer as one of the men waves at her.
Who was that? Amina laughing softly, trying to ease the tension.
Just Femi, a childhood friend. There's no harm in his greeting. Ojo, his expression hardening, voice low. I don't like the way he looks at you. His grip on her waist tightens, causing Amina to flinch slightly. Amina, growing serious. Ojo, you're being ridiculous. We are in the village. These people are our friends. But Ojo's face darkens. His eyes narrow as he looks at the men passing by, their easy camaraderie with Amina stirring something darker within him. Ojo, his voice a mix of anger and determination. From now on you will stay close to me. No more wandering off to laugh with those men. Amina pulls away slightly, her brows furrowing in confusion and fear. This was not the Ojo she had walked with days ago. Amina, gently but firmly. Ojo, you cannot control me. We are not even married, and you... Before she can finish, another man, Adio, approaches to greet her, oblivious to the rising tension. Adio, smiling warmly. Amina, it's been a while. Ojo, cutting him off, stepping forward aggressively. Stay away from her! Ojo's voice is sharp, filled with a dangerous edge. Adio looks startled, his smile fading as he holds up his hands in confusion. Adio, I mean no disrespect, Ojo. But Ojo is already charging forward, shoving Aid back violently. The village quiets as the sound of a scuffle breaks the calm air. Amina watches, horrified, as Ojo tackles Aid to the ground, fists flying. Amina, shouting, rushing forward. Ojo, stop! What are you doing? But Ojo doesn't stop. His possessiveness has turned into something far more dangerous, an obsession to control, to claim what he believes is his. As villagers rush to separate the two men, Amina realizes with a sinking heart that the man who had once wooed her with gentle words is now consumed by a possessiveness that borders on tyranny.
A quiet evening by the stream. The sun is setting, casting a warm golden light over the village. Amina sits alone, her expression distant, replaying the events of the past few days in her mind. She hears soft footsteps behind her and turns to see Ojo approaching, his head bowed, a heavy look of regret on his face. Ojo softly, standing a few feet away. "Amina, I'm sorry." Amina doesn't respond at first, her hands fidgeting with the folds of her dress. The hurt still lingers, and she isn't sure if words alone can heal the wound Ojo's actions have caused. Ojo, stepping closer, his voice more earnest. "I was wrong. The way I behaved, it wasn't right. I let my feelings get the better of me. I never wanted to hurt you, Amina. Please believe me." Amina, finally looking up at him, her voice steady but soft. "Ojo, you frighten me. The man I began walking with was kind, gentle, but now I don't know who you've become." Her words cut deep, and Ojo feels the weight of his actions more than ever. He kneels beside her, reaching for her hand but hesitating before his fingers touch hers. Ojo, his voice low and filled with sincerity. "I know. I lost myself in my feelings for you, in my need to protect you, but I understand now that love isn't about possession or control. It's about trust and respect. I want to earn that back, Amina. Please give me the chance to show you." Amina watches him carefully, unsure but willing to listen. But there's something different in his tone this time, a vulnerability she hadn't seen before. Amina, after a long pause, "Words are easy, Ojo. What will you do to change?" Ojo straightens slightly, his determination clear. "Ojo, I will prove it with my actions. I'll respect your space, your friendships. I will learn to control this jealousy inside me. From now on, I will work to be a man worthy of walking by your side." Amina has her doubts and walks away. I want some space at this time, Ojo." The next day, Ojo went to Amina's home. He just outside the entrance, his expression determined, despite the tension that lingers between him and Amina's father. He adjusts his traditional attire and takes a deep breath before stepping forward to ask for Amina's hand in marriage, a decision made without Amina's knowledge. Ojo, calling respectfully, his voice steady but solemn.
"Baba Amina, may I speak with you?" From inside the hut, Amina's father, an elderly man with white hair, slowly emerges. He stands tall, holding a wooden staff, his face reflecting both wisdom and a quiet strength. His eyes, however, show the weight of past tension between him and Ojo. Father, speaking with calm authority, "Ojo, I did not expect you so early. What brings you here?" Ojo steps closer, lowering his gaze momentarily out of respect, though the tension is palpable. He knows this is a bold move, but his desire to make things right and solidify his future with Amina outweighs the unease between them. Ojo, his voice steady but with underlying urgency. "Baba, I have come to ask for your blessing. I wish to marry Amina." The elder's face hardens at Ojo's words. He studies the young man before him, noting the determination in Ojo's eyes, but also remembering the friction between them. Father, measured as he leans on his staff, "You come to ask for my daughter's hand, but we both know things between us have not been easy. What makes you think you are ready to be her husband, Ojo?" Ojo takes a deep breath, the weight of the elder's gaze pressing down on him. He knows this is his moment to prove his intentions, to show that he's serious despite the challenges they've faced. Ojo, speaking earnestly, "Baba, I know there has been tension between us, and for that I accept responsibility, but I love Amina, and I want to spend my life with her. I have made mistakes, but I am willing to learn and grow. I want to be the man she deserves, a man you can trust to care for her, no matter our differences." The elder remains silent for a moment, his eyes narrowing slightly as he considers Ojo's words. The air feels heavy with anticipation, and Ojo stands tall, though his heart beats anxiously in his chest. Father, after a pause, his voice calm but firm, "Love is not enough, Ojo. A husband must show patience, wisdom, and the ability to protect and provide without controlling or dominating. Amina deserves more than just words. She deserves a man who understands these things." Ojo nods slowly, taking in the elder's words. He steps forward, his voice unwavering. "Ojo, I am willing to prove myself to you, Baba. I know actions speak louder than words, and I will show you that I can be the husband Amina deserves. I ask for the chance to make things right." The elder gazes at Ojo for what feels like an eternity. His face remains unreadable, but his silence speaks volumes. Finally, he sighs, a heavy breath that seems to carry years of wisdom. Father, softly, almost to himself, "Amina has a strong spirit like her mother. If she chooses you, Oho, it will not be because of my approval alone, it will be because she believes you are worthy. He looks directly into Oho's eyes, his voice stronger now. Father, it is Amina who will decide her own future. If she ever says yes to you, do not take her strength for granted. And if you ever forget your place in her life, you will answer to me. Oho bows his head in respect, relief washing over him, though he knows the journey is far from over. At least he did not refuse outrightly. Oho, quietly with gratitude, thank you, Baba, I will not fail her. The elder nods, though the tension between them remains, simmering beneath the surface. Without another word, he turns and heads back into the hut, leaving Oho standing alone in the morning light. As Ojo leaves Amina's family compound, his gaze shifting to the path leading to Amina's favorite spot by the stream. There is no telling how she will react when she learns he went behind her back to seek her father's blessing. Without her forgiveness, her father's words would mean nothing. She could still refuse him. With urgency in every step, he heads toward the stream, where he knows she often goes to think. The sound of the flowing water grows louder as Oho approaches the familiar spot. His chest tightens at the thought of Amina rejecting him, but he knows he must speak with her before it's too late. Oho, muttering under his breath, anxious, "She has to listen, I need her to listen." As he nears the clearing, Oho spots Amina sitting by the edge of the stream, her back turned toward him. Her figure is still, her posture reflective as she watches the water flow quietly past. The moment is peaceful, but Oho feels none of the calm. Taking a deep breath, he steps closer, his voice gentle but strained. Oho, softly, trying not to startle her. Amina. Amina turns slightly, her face revealing a mixture of surprise and guardedness. She hadn't expected to see him here, especially after everything that had happened between them. Amina, her voice calm but distant. "Oho, what are you doing here?" Oho takes a step closer, his heart pounding, knowing he doesn't have much time. He sees the hurt in her eyes, and it twists in his chest. He drops to his knees in front of her, his expression pleading. Oho, his voice trembling with urgency. "Amina, please, I need to speak with you. I know I've hurt you, and I regret it more than anything. I went to your father this morning. I asked for his blessing to marry you." Amina's eyes widen in shock, but her expression quickly hardens. Amina, her voice sharp, cutting through the calm. "You went behind my back, Oho? How could you do that without talking to me first?" Oho bows his head, the weight of her words crashing down on him. He knows he's made a mistake, but he can't let her walk away without trying to make things right. Oho, desperately, "I know. I should have come to you first, but I was afraid you wouldn't give me the chance to explain myself. I love you, Amina. I didn't want to lose you. That's why I went to your father, but he said the decision is yours. You're the one who holds the power here." Amina stands up, crossing her arms as she looks away, her face a mixture of hurt and frustration. Amina, voice pained, "And what if I say no, Oho? What if I can't trust you anymore?" Oho's heart sinks at her words. He stands and moves closer, his eyes filled with regret as he reaches out to gently take her hand, though she doesn't immediately respond. Oho, pleading, his voice softer. "Amina, please don't say no. I know I've made mistakes, but I'm asking for your forgiveness. I'm asking for the chance to prove that I can change, that I can be the man you deserve. Please don't walk away from us." Amina hesitates, her face still guarded, but there's a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. She looks down at their hands, her emotions warring within her. Amina, more quietly, "You broke my trust, Oho. How can I be sure you won't do it again?" Oho steps closer, his voice trembling with sincerity. "Oho, I swear to you, Amina, I will never make the same mistake again. I'll do whatever it takes to earn your trust back. I just need you to give me one more chance." Amina pulls her hand away and turns her back to him, the weight of his words settling in. She gazes out at the stream, the water flowing endlessly in front of her. The silence between them stretches on, and for a moment Oho fears that her answer might be final. But after what feels like an eternity, Amina speaks, her voice quiet and measured. "Amina, you went to my father, but now you're here asking me. That's a start, Oho, but trust takes time to rebuild." Oho nods quickly, a glimmer of hope returning to his eyes. Oho, earnestly, "I'll take all the time you need. I'll prove myself, Amina. Just tell me you'll consider giving us another chance." Amina finally turns to face him, her expression still serious but less guarded. She searches his face for a long moment and finally she sighs. Amina, softly, "I'll consider it, Oho, but don't mistake my words for forgiveness, not yet. That will take more than a promise. Ojo exhales, relief flooding through him. It's not a victory, but it's a step. He bows his head in gratitude. Ojo, thank you, Amina. Thank you for giving me that chance. They stand by the stream, the tension between them still present, but the smallest crack of hope glimmers through. Amina turns away again, looking at the water, while Ojo remains behind her, silently grateful for the opportunity to make things right. The path ahead won't be easy, but at least now there's a path to follow. I hope you mean what you say, Ojo. Trust is not easily repaired once broken. Ojo bows his head again, understanding the long road ahead. I will show you, Amina, day by day. I want us to build something strong, something beautiful. I'll do everything I can to make things right.
A few weeks later, the village buzzes with life. Amina is sitting with her friends by the stream, laughing and talking. Ojo stands nearby, but this time there's no possessiveness in his stance, only quiet admiration. He has been working hard to keep his word, showing patience and respect, giving Amina the space she needs.
Teasing Amina, one of her friends said.
Looks like Ojo's a changed man, eh? Another said, who would have thought? Amina smiles, but her gaze softens as she watches Ojo talking with other villagers. He no longer hovers over her or reacts with jealousy when others approach. His effort to rebuild the relationship has not gone unnoticed. Ojo, walking over to Amina, his demeanor calm and gentle.
Amina, would you care for a walk? Amina nods, standing up and slipping her hand into his. They walk together side by side through the village, but this time there's an ease between them, a balance of trust and mutual respect. Ojo listens attentively as Amina speaks, offering his thoughts without overwhelming her, keeping his possessiveness in check. As they pass by a group of young men from the village, Ojo catches Amina's glance at them. Instead of reacting with jealousy, he offers a small, genuine smile. Amina notices and squeezes his hand gently, appreciating the change in him. Amina, quietly as they walk.
I see your effort, Ojo. You're becoming the man I hoped you could be. Ojo, looking at her with a quiet pride.
I will keep working, Amina, every day. They continue walking through the village, the golden light of the setting sun casting a warm glow over them. Ojo's tyranny has faded, replaced by a dedication to build a relationship based on respect and love. The village watches, noticing the shift in Ojo, and for the first time in weeks there's a peace around them as they walk hand in hand.
The sun is beginning to set, casting a golden glow over the village. Ojo and Amina walk hand in hand near the stream where they first met. The sound of the water flowing and birds singing fills the air. Ojo seems unusually quiet, his normally confident demeanor replaced by a sense of nervousness. Ojo, pausing as they reach the stream, turning to face her.
Amina, do you remember when we first walked here together? You made the world around me disappear. Amina smiles warmly, the memory bringing a soft glow to her face. Amina, I remember it was the first time I saw you not as the Ojo others talk about, but the man who wanted to know me. Ojo takes a deep breath, looking down at their hands before he reaches into his pocket. He pulls out a small, intricately carved wooden bracelet, traditional yet simple. Ojo, his voice trembling slightly. Amina, since that day, I have known there could be no one else for me. You have filled my life with laughter, with strength, with love. I want to walk this path with you every day for the rest of our lives. Amina's eyes widen slightly, her breath catching as she realizes what's happening. Ojo kneels before her, holding up the bracelet. Ojo looking up at her, his voice filled with sincerity. Amina, will you be my wife? For a moment, the world seems to stop. The sound of the stream fades as Amina's heart pounds in her chest. She looks at Ojo, seeing the vulnerability in his eyes, and smiles softly. Amina, her voice trembling with emotion.
Yes, Ojo. Yes, I will be your wife. Ojo rises, his face breaking into a wide smile, and gently slips the bracelet onto her wrist. Amina laughs softly, feeling both joy and relief wash over her as they embrace. The setting sun painting the sky in hues of pink and orange. The moment is perfect.
In a village, as they hand out together, Amina's friend Fola senses Amina is wanting to share some news because of the excitement on her face. Fola, leaning forward excitedly. So what happened? Tell me everything. Amina smiles, her face glowing with happiness as she holds up her wrist, showing Fola the wooden bracelet. Amina, laughing softly. Ojo proposed to me by the stream last night. Fola gasps, her eyes wide. Fola is unsure how to take the news.
Amina, I have this strange feeling about Ojo. Something isn't right. You should be careful. Do not take any hasty decisions.
The village is bustling with preparations for an upcoming Yam Festival celebration is in full swing.
Everyone, let's make sure the yams are all gathered in the community barn ahead of our celebration. We want this celebration to be unforgettable.
Have you heard? Amina and Ojo? There's something going on between them.
Amina and her close friend Fola are seated under a large tree weaving baskets together. As they walk home that evening, Amina turns and asks,
Fola, do you think Ojo really cares about me? Sometimes I feel uncertain.
Amina, you deserve someone who truly values you. Just listen to your heart.
Ojo is nearby, watching Amina from a distance, his gaze fixed on her.
Amina, you will be mine no matter what.
Glancing at Ojo. Amina, I have noticed the way Ojo watches you. It's as if he fears you will disappear at any moment.
He cares for me, Fola. He is protective, nothing more.
Protective, yes. But I see something else in his eyes. Anger, danger, maybe even jealousy and possessiveness. Are you sure about marrying him?
He loves me, Fola. I believe he will be a good husband.
Love should not feel like chains, Amina. Be careful.
Ojo interrupts, asking them, what are you two whispering about?
Fola replies, just sharing advice. I hope you remember it, Amina.
The week before the marriage rites, Amina and her father sit outside their home watching the sun set over the hills. Her father, a wise elder of the village, notices Ojo lingering nearby, pacing as if anxious.
Amina, my daughter, tell me truthfully. Do you feel peace in your heart about Ojo?
Amina, surprised by her father's question, looks up at him. Amina fidgets with her hands, sensing her father's concern, but unsure of how to respond.
He has been good to me, father. Why do you ask?
I've watched him, Amina. There's a fire in his eyes that I do not trust. He seems to burn with more than love.
He is passionate, yes, but he means well. He says he wants to protect me.
Amina is quiet, her father's words echoing in her mind as she gazes at Ojo in the distance, now watching them intently. Days before the marriage, Amina and her mother visit the bustling village market. As Amina picks out fabrics for her wedding attire, the village elder, Mama Kemi, a woman known for her wisdom, approaches them. She greets Amina's mother and pulls Amina aside. Mama Kemi's expression is stern, her eyes searching Amina's face.
Amina, my child, I hear the village speaks of your upcoming marriage to Ojo. I have seen Ojo grow up. He is a strong man, but his heart is troubled. There is a darkness in him that you may not yet see.
Amina's smile fades slightly, unsure of how to respond.
But Mama, he is a respected man. He takes care of me.
Taking care of you and controlling you are two different things, child. A true man of respect does not keep a woman in fear or hide her from the world. I've seen too many young women silenced by love that turns bitter. Be wise, Amina. Do not ignore the signs.
Amina is visibly uncomfortable but nods respectfully. As she walks away with her mother, she glances back at Mama Kemi, who stands still, watching her with eyes full of warning. The day before the wedding, Amina's older brother, Adisa, returns from the neighboring village. He hears rumors about Ojo's treatment of his sister and possessiveness, and decides to confront him. The two men stand alone by the village's edge, the air thick with tension. I have heard stories, Ojo. People say you are too harsh with my sister, too controlling. Amina is my wife-to-be. It is my duty to protect her from the dangers of the world. You do not understand our bond. She is mine, no one else's. Protection is not the same as control. Amina is not your prisoner, Ojo. If you love her, you will let her live freely. Amina is not a possession, Ojo. I will not allow you to harm her in any way. If I hear of you mistreating her after the wedding, I will come for you. Ojo's face hardens, his fists clenched. He steps closer to Adisa, his voice low and threatening. Stay out of my affairs, Adisa. Amina chose me, not you. She belongs to me now, he says to Adisa. Adisa glares at Ojo, his eyes burning with protective anger. He turns away, but his warning lingers.